So joining us now, we have Democratic Congresswoman Karen Bass. She serves on the Judiciary Committee and is the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. Congresswoman, great to have you. First, before we get to what happened yesterday and what will happen, do you have some insight into what Speaker Pelosi will be announcing at 9 a.m. this morning?
I am sorry, I do not. I am not sure what she is going to announce, but I will be anxiously awaiting like everyone else.
So this came as a surprise to you at 5:30 a.m. as it did to us.
It did. That's right.
Okay, well, then that will be very interesting to hear what she has to say. So let's talk about what happened yesterday. You had a chance to question these 4 expert witnesses, 3 from the Democratic side, 1 from the Republican side. And you did question all of them except Jonathan Turley. And that was the Republicans' witness. And I'm just wondering, since he's the person who's making the case, basically, that Democrats are going about this the wrong way, why didn't you ask him a question?
Well, I was actually surprised by him. I expected them to put forward a witness that would be much stronger in terms of advocating their case. It seemed to me the only point that he was making is that, yes, maybe he did commit an impeachable offense, but you are going too fast and that you need more facts. And I think that that's quite ironic because we have the possibility of getting a lot more information, but the president has blocked it every step of the way. That's in the general sense the same argument that my Republican colleagues are making. But if they want this situation to not go on as long or to take longer, they need to get the administration to allow people to come forward and testify and to give the information that they're holding on to, that they're blocking.
I mean, one way to get the administration to do that is through the court battle. And I think what Jonathan Turley was saying was that when it comes to the subpoenas of Bolton and Giuliani, say, people with real firsthand witness, why aren't Democrats aggressively pursuing this in court?
Well, I think, first of all, we have a number of court cases going on, but we cannot allow that to be a distraction. And we do already have an awful lot of information. But I will just say to you that the urgency that I feel is that this president has attempted to intervene in the next election, and he needs to be stopped immediately. Rudy Giuliani right now is over in the Ukraine. Who knows what he's doing? They might still be attempting to interfere in this election. So I don't believe that we have the opportunity, we have the ability to just wait for the courts. We never know how long that is going to take. I feel a sense of urgency. We need to act now.
I understand the sense of urgency. I understand the argument that Democrats are making. But what I don't understand is dropping the subpoena for Kupperman and not pursuing one for Bolton. Why not do both at the same time?
Well, that's a judgment of our leadership. To me, it would be great if Bolton would come forward. He seems as though he wants to tease it. I don't know if it's over his book deal. He's, hinted through tweets, which I think is very inappropriate. He should do the right thing and just come forward. We shouldn't even need to subpoena him.
Okay, so let's talk about that timeline, because obviously that's still an outstanding question. When do you think there will be a vote on impeachment?
Well, I will tell you right now, I do not know, but I think it is very possible that there will be a vote, if not before Christmas, before the end of the year.
Okay, so that's a little bit later. Possible. What we had was possible full House vote the week of December 16th.
I think that's possible. Now, one of the things that we're waiting for is tomorrow, we're waiting for the administration to decide whether or not they're going to participate in this process at all. I would imagine that if they choose not to participate in this process, that it will probably go quicker. If they choose to participate, if they're going to suggest witnesses that are appropriate, then it might take a little longer. So part of the ball is in their court, not ours.
Okay. And what about what will be included in articles of impeachment? What are you all talking about in terms of, will it just be solely based on Ukraine, or will there be some Russia Mueller report threads?
Well, I will tell you, in the judiciary, in our committee, we have not discussed yet what specific articles of impeachment will be. So we will see. I don't know. I mean, it could be a few. I don't believe that there would be a ton of articles, but we actually have not had that conversation yet.
So, I mean, can you just share with us what the feeling is about beyond Ukraine?
Well, we certainly know that abuse of power, we know that the president has abused his power. I mean, that's what we examined an awful lot yesterday. I believe he's betrayed the Constitution, and I also think that he has obstructed Congress. I mean, he won't cooperate with anything. And then the Mueller report certainly showed 10 examples of obstruction of justice. Now, whether or not those will be articles of impeachment, in all honesty, I can tell you that we have not had the specific discussion.
Has a discussion come up about possible perjury involving the president's written answers to Robert Mueller?
No, that has not come up yet. But, you know, it's one of the problems and one of our dilemmas is there is so much. There's so much that this administration has done, that the president has done. I do think it's important that we focus. But, again, the sense of urgency to me is about the next election, and it's also about our national security. I mean, I think it's difficult for us in the United States to imagine the situation that the president of Ukraine is in. I mean, he was a popularly elected president. His ratings have gone down. We have compromised his presidency. This is a man who is under attack by another country. Russia is occupying part of his territory. And then the president had nerve enough to say, well, you know, we have money, your defense assistance, but we need you to help us out first. It's just incredibly inappropriate. I believe it was illegal, but I also believe that in the United States, it's kind of hard for us to imagine the situation that this president is in, and all of that compromises our national security. But we do know, over the last 3 years, we know who this president answers to, and it's not the American people, it's Putin.
Well, I mean, there's a lot there. The president obviously didn't state it in that conversation as overtly as you just did. That would have made your job much easier. There was a lot that was implied, and that's what the Republicans say you can't hang your hat on.
But you know what? The president's acting chief of staff came out and told all of us to get over it. He said that's the way foreign policy is done. And you know, I also serve on the Foreign Affairs Committee, and I will tell you that is not the way our foreign policy is done. What is fundamentally wrong here is that the president pressured another head of state for his personal gain. Yes, of course, we leverage our assistance on behalf of the United States, but we know that that is not what the president was after. It's not the way our foreign policy is conducted. And I really think, you know, to see the three heads of state and NATO joke about the president, we do need to understand that everybody jokes about the president. If you go overseas, and I travel a lot, I meet with prime ministers and presidents, and everybody ridicules what is happening in our country right now, which is why I think impeachment is important, because it's important for us to demonstrate to the world we are a democracy. And when a democracy like the United States is in trouble, we have a vehicle to address the situation we're in, and it is called impeachment. It is important for us to demonstrate to the rest of the world that we can put this ship back in order.
Congresswoman Karen Bass, we really appreciate you taking time to be on New Day. Thank you.
Thank you.